So I figured out something with this NPC, and there actually was a pack-in linked to my captain's cabin. I had to go in the creation kit and look at the cabin on the inside, see what contents were there, and her name was there listed. I'll show you in a moment. And there was a marker. The way that I had to get rid of her spawning is there was a marker, so I had to press M to turn on the marker so I could see him. And right in the center of the cabin was a marker for her to spawn. No idea how I got there. It didn't make any sense. All of the reasons that the search results provided don't coincide with anything that I think I've done to get it in there, but it got in there somehow. So basically you can go in and you can disable them and tell them to go away through the console command. Boom, boom. Mark for delete, disable, back out of the kit, she's gone. But the way that you have to take care of the problem so that it doesn't re-happen is you have to go into the kit, and you can see right there where I'm pointing and was highlighted that her name is listed as one of the pack-in contents to my hab. And then looking at the marker data, right here where this X was an M that when you edit it had her name on it. So there was a marker in my ship for her to spawn. How it got there, I could have no idea. I don't even have a clue. Copying and pasting any of this stuff that I've got here, none of it is associated with anything to do with her, so I have no idea how I got there. Onto the ship. This is the ship that I built out of one of the last claymores that I captured. The idea behind this was to put a 3x3 on top of a 2x3 and compress everything down like this and test all of those connection points. You can see where I've got the docker. It's a side docker, and I've got my companionways connected to the 2x2, but it's a little bit different from normal. So I wasn't really sure this is going to work, but it did work. Now I also did come up with one issue where there's a problem with one of my 1x1s did pop a ladder into that 3x3, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But it's not anything that's not done properly with the companionway. It is just it's a problem. It's a known issue between Hope Habs cargo bay, because they usually are loaded, they usually have stuff, and so there's a little different handling they do in their pathing script for how they punch holes and don't punch holes. But I don't think any of that alignment stuff, I'm not going to tamper with any of that. Basically, I just changed the 1x1 not to be a companionway, to be a storeroom, and it fixed the glitch. But that glitch only happens in relationship to that 3x3, that right there, the 3x3 and this companionway. So I just changed it from being a companionway to a custom storeroom. See how the door is, I just came up through there, but the door, the portal is still blocked, and that visual display is a snap behavior flaw in the logic of the pathway scripting for the Hope Hab. It is not a problem in the snap reference that I did something wrong, I missed something or whatever. It is ingrained as a pathing issue in what the Hope connectivity scripting makes as a priority, and there's several things that were stated about that, which I don't know if were true or not true, but what was said. And the long and the short of it is that it all pointed to it's a known script bug with the Hope Hab, and it's nothing to do with anything that I've got. Now, I'm not going to worry about fixing it because I don't care if there's a hole there. I'm always going to try to avoid those ladders, and I do. I change that, have the one by one out, and the ladder goes away. That NPC still standing over there. This actually, I took my fix and I put it ahead of everything. But these videos at this point were actually shot before me doing that. So the confusion, if you notice the NPC back over there, this video was shot before I actually did that fix. And so it may be confusing. It's a little out of order, but I wanted to put that fix information up front rather than bury it in all of this other stuff. So I've got all these tabs in different positions now, and everything seems to be working fine. As far as, there's that one by one, but that one by one is not broken. That's a built-in problem with the Hope pathing script, which is not going to, it really doesn't impact me because it's just a matter of which one by one I choose. These weapon racks, I think it almost makes the armory pointless, but then there's several habs that are pointless, like the medical bay. The medical bay makes no sense. There's no medical gameplay in here, and it's all, I guess, RP or just, there, maybe future expansion. But what I'll do is for the decor function that I was looking at with the weapon racks and the storage, is I'll just make weapon racks that are permanent fixtures that are basically locked in place, and then there will be a few weapon cases or the weapon display case that is in the armory that will be able to accept and store weapons. But the ones that I've been putting on the wall for decor, that I've got to actually build a weapon for and stick in it, and then the weapon may or may not stay there, I'm going to stop doing that. What I'm going to do instead is I'll just make some displays that will go in place of that, because that's all I was intending anyway. These cases actually wind up working. I have to test the longevity of that, but they did work through a place a weapon in, put the ship back in storage in the shipbuilder and pull out another ship, and then return to that ship, pull it back out, and those weapon cases were still populated, which is a good sign. I think what I'll do also with those weapon racks is that I've been using the Outpost version, and what I can do is I can use the loot version, which is a game item that when you go into a POI and there's weapon racks on the wall and they have weapons on them, there's various rare old earth, over 100-year-old that is, or legendary. There's various rated. There's various rated racks, and they spawn weapons. So I might try that. I did that in my POI, but they would wind up with an excess of weapons in them, which they still had a display, and the whole value of using them anyway was for display. So I think this design came out okay. It's one of the more compressed models. I think I like them to be a little wider when they're compressed like that. Just be a pancake, more of a pancake than a turtle.
Shields up! Let's dance!
This all you got?
Nope, I'm making you for last because I'm going to collect you.
Easy
I'm going to
money.
rebuild you.
Engines down!
I'll turn this into a 2x3 down here. Put my 2x3 down here, and it'll have the bay door. We'll still be coming in through a 1x1 that's a ladder entry bay, but then I'll put a staircase in the back that'll lead up to the next level, and I will put my two 3x1s in there in the front for the those extended front end. It'll get the Drake cab. That void form is great. The swords were worthless until I modded, where they can do some damage. Remember, the base game had those swords at so low damage it was stupid to use them. Yeah, all the habs seem to be checking out. Everything seems to be fixed now. Yeah, see, these are still holding their weapons. These guys can actually be pretty tough. All of my ship settings are reduced from being in that last ship. I think that's something the game does wrong. It shouldn't be keeping your settings from the last ship. It should be keeping your settings that you had in this ship. These guys can slow down and speed up and turn around so fast. I can't do that in one of those. They're giving me some damage. I got a 4K shield. This would have been rough if I didn't have a modded shield. That situation would be easier with turret guns that are automatically aiming and firing mounted in the rear. Which is one thing that those tail fins are good for, is that they've got 2 points each of them, so there's 4 points there where I could put rear-facing turret guns. If I pulled those off, I'd also be able to put a different arrangement of fuel tanks in the back there, where I've got some snap points. But they eat up a lot of space and consume area that keeps you from using those snap points. Okay, let's build the next ship. I've got that one too. That one, I think what I'll do with that one is I'm going to test the my 2x3 and my 3x3 with a front docker. I still need to do that. So I'm up to 11 ships now. I'm at about, I think, 7 meg save file size. So yeah, that one's next.